time you'll find that you've nothing to think about except thinking. And just as you have to stop talking to hear what others have to say.
Alright, let me just unmute myself from the Discord, and I have returned! The stream has started.
Hello, Kit. Thank you so much. And hello, club members. Welcome to our monthly podcast, the Red Acre Neighborhood Watch. Here we discuss lore, gameplay, and the community. With me today are my co-hosts, Kit Ballard, the well-renowned.
You can find me over on Twitter and Twitch, right there on the middle of the screen.
And I have Archer's Volley.
Hello. You can also find me on Twitter. I believe it should be on the screen as well. I go by the extremely difficult name Squigglium on there. Good luck.
Yes, it is very difficult.
And of course, Fluffy Raven over here as well.
Oh, wow.
I do not have anything set up for fluff, unfortunately.
I'm your local cryptid. You gotta try to find me.
Yeah, she's a rare sight. And of course, we have our wonderful host, Leha, as well. She's here.
Yep, you can find me on Twitter at Leia Solo or on Twitch at Trollmakes Inc.
And of course, you guys know me, Zayden. You guys can find me at Twitter at ZaydenXY or on YouTube. Let's get started with the game. Why don't we? So let's start off with our monthly tip. Is you can catch items in the air, and I know Kit actually can do this. It's kind of like meme. I've never been able to catch a stalker's item in the air, so I'm not too sure if it would work in that instance. I may need to test that out more, but you can catch your friends' items in the air.
Yes.
So, yeah, you can meme them. Let me see if we can get it to happen here.
Alright, there we go. So, probably the two easiest items to do is either flashbangs or noisemakers. And the best place to do it is standing on top of a roof while someone throws it upwards at you.
Oh, I didn't know it got that advanced, Kit. Honestly, I thought it was just like just toss it at the person and pray.
I've actually did catch one being tossed right at me. But like I said, the easiest way to do it is hitting it like that.
And I guess spam pick up,
Yep.
right? Close your eyes and spam pick up.
Yeah, just try to follow it. Just pray that you catch it.
Yes, we'll demonstrate that in a moment since we gotta go find some stuff.
Yeah, we gotta find some items first. Another tip we have that might not be well known is when you are running towards your allies, your stamina decreases less. So the way that you can use this with your friends is you guys can try to keep someone at full stamina and have that person run from behind you guys. Then when you guys run out of stamina, you can rest while that person catches up, and then you guys will recover up to their stamina. So it's pretty useful if you guys kind of like rubber band to each other, like just take a rubber band and pull it. You guys just do that motion back to back. So that's extremely useful for getting around Red Acre fast and not being caught off guard with no stamina when you have to run against the
Yep. I tried my best to demonstrate that. I still don't have the technique as well as you do, but
you just have to run towards her, like in any direction. Like as long as you're running towards me, like you'll see that it'll decrease less. As long as the ally doesn't have to be any specific ally. The only requirement is that you are in that ally's friendship aura. So on your bottom left, the cards should be showing together. When the cards are showing together, you're in that aura. Then the effect will activate when you run towards them.
Hey, look at us.
Singing Head is excited for this discovery.
Oh my god. Singing Head always makes me jump.
I love the singing head. Are you kidding me?
The eating stone.
the eating stone.
Speaking of that, I know a lot of people have trouble with that quest. What are some advice you guys might be able to give for this quest for the eating
Can I say
stone?
one?
Go for it.
Don't be afraid and book it, basically.
Yeah.
Like, if you have Indomitable and stuff like that, that's a huge help. But it's a good idea to know when you have the head, if you stop, it stops screaming. So if you're in a safe spot, like I'm currently near 920 observation, so if you're on the platform on the top, I usually like to vault over and jump onto the rafters right across from the platform at the very top that leads to the above ground. And then I'll just sit there for a hot second, and I'll kind of like try to reorient and figure out where I need to go.
Run like
Yeah.
crazy, my favorite kind of advice.
Pretty much, because like once you're underground, you
And then the shape's
Uh-oh.
like, no, no.
Dun, dun, dun.
So one of my favorite techniques actually is I'm gonna go head down into the maze. Is if the head's on this side of the map that we're on, I usually go and go into instrument storage, and there's actually if the head goes onto the east side of the map, I usually try to yeet it over to string relay from instrument storage.
Mhm.
It'll bypass several rooms, and sometimes the actual pedestal is in string
Yeah.
relay.
I totally feel that. Sometimes when it's in string relay, I just yeet it over the throat. I'm not even messing with you. I just close my eyes and throw it. Sometimes I do like a little spin too, like that 360 no scope video. Like I jump 360 no scope, see if it lands in the hole.
So one of the easiest ways to actually judge if you're doing it right is if this chest here, which I love when this is here, you can just grab the chest and then just kind of do something like this. And it should land over there. Yeet of faith, yes.
Yeah, the yeet of faith. Now, there's a way we can cancel lighted rebellions, right? Like if we mess up on them?
Mm-hmm.
How do we do that?
So basically, from what I've read, I have not done this practice myself since I rarely actually do it. You can actually... Oh.
Did somebody get
A
caught?
brief mistake
Oh,
was made,
no.
but I'm okay.
So basically, the way that works is while you're talking and you have your eyes closed, if you mess up something and you leave your eyes closed and walk outside the ritual area, it's from what I read, it cancels the ritual.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I've noticed too, which thankfully because I've actually done it, is that if you accidentally close your eyes and then immediately open them, I don't know what the exact time frame is before it actually wastes the ritual.
It's roughly
but that
5
will
seconds,
also,
yeah.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
You'll have that moment too. Like if it turns out that like you press the button and then you don't. If like something happens, like your cat jumps up onto the computer desk and knocks over your water and you have to clean it up. Like you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's a good way to cancel it out. I personally mess up sometimes. I lose my train of thought when I'm talking. But I kind of keep it, I feel like it adds to my character. I don't know, that's me. Lastly, for our tips, there are these like broken shadowy pieces on the map that we see sometimes. Can you guys tell me more about those?
So, those are name fragments of the Idare, which is actually going to come up in a little bit. Those, the fragments are actually really tough to find. Everyone has their own seed of what order they can find their fragments in. Like, some people have barely any fragments because a lot of the stuff's not actually showing up for them. While others, like myself and a few others, are up to like in the teens, almost 20s.
Yeah, I have 15 personally.
Yeah, I think the current soft cap is about 18 fragments. But on the document itself of actually discovered locations where they can be, it can go up to over 30. So there's definitely some hiding around the map that we have not found yet.
Yeah. Also, it's been hinted that there could be one up in Old Growth. Oh, I completely forgot about Archer. Ah.
I stay confident.
No, I got distracted. I was like, I looked around, like, oh, I guess they got Archer.
I was like,
oh.
Archer?
I didn't put my back.
Yeah, so those name fragments are broken pieces of TD, from what I understand as well. I know that there's this knowledge that we're talking about with the seed and stuff like that. That's not confirmed, as far as I know. I know it's just like how we think it works from what we've seen and observed. That it just kind of is a little bit random. But I know from what the devs have said that they are made to be unpredictable. So I reckon that there are some places that we still have access to that we probably haven't found name fragments in.
Yeah, like one of the
Mhm.
things that I think it's seeded for per player is that I found my very first one on the side of that house, and no one's actually seen it before, and
That was
they
cool.
they still haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet either.
Yeah, so you know, things like behind the elevator, some of the other like
Yeah.
recent spots, those haven't been showing up for a lot of players, myself included, which I'm actually still waiting for the elevator.
I'm still waiting for the one in Signal Relay, like from like 2 builds ago. That one hasn't shown up. The barracks ones did, but that one is just, woof, missing.
Yeah,
AWOL.
for her 15, yeah.
So we've had a month on this build already, right?
Yee.
Mhm.
How has it been for everyone so far? I know last time we had some expectations for this UI mode.
Oh, I think it's absolutely fantastic. I am such a huge fan of the fact that they allow us to disable the information map thingy HUD. There we go.
Yeah.
That's the term.
Boink.
I am a huge fan of the fact that we get to disable that because
I am
now
demonstrating
we can
now.
we can take some really beautiful pictures now of the various parts of the maze, which, you know, they're gorgeous. Like, just from like a structural and like design level, like a lot of the places in the maze are just absolutely gorgeous. So
Absolutely.
I really like the fact that we can fully appreciate them without all of our extra information, like how broken our ankles are, you know?
Thanks. But yeah, it also gives players the opportunity to go into kind of like a realism mode. Like, I just got detected without even realizing. And of course, like what you just said, where, you know, we don't know how much damage we've taken. I don't even know how many trank darts I'm sitting on now, because, maybe... Yeah, I'm out now.
Yeah, it definitely allows for a much more custom sort of in many ways, because we have that realism mode where we can play the game using the eyes and calling out to where we're at. And then there's some other things I've seen people do, like play hide and seek.
Ooh, how did I do that?
Oh, hide and seek is fun.
So I definitely like that a lot. So how do you guys feel about the changes that were done to prank call? Prank call had gotten changed in the last patch.
I've unfortunately not used it since I've been actually going attached to the drone, but I've actually checked it out though, and that is an interesting change, and I actually welcome it because a lot of the times the cameras that you deactivate, you're just trying to get past it once, and you know they'll stay deactivated until you deactivate or prank call someone else. Oh, there's a sleeper here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think the timer on the cameras and like the speed traps are really nice. I mean, I used to like use those enough to just like do it. 1 second. I used to use them on like, you know, the problem speed traps and stuff like that. Like the one that's in between the. What's it called? The trucks. That's the word.
Speed trap.
Yes.
The trucks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the speed trap. The speed trap change is actually a major nerf to it.
Mm-hmm. The one thing that I have not been enjoying as much, however, is the fact that they have reduced the time that it disables a sleeper or a lucid, which I mean I completely understand it, and I think it's a good change. But I liked how long they would just stand there and listen to this very long spiel.
Do you want to make more money? Of course you do.
I like the spiel.
Of course you do.
I like appreciated the spiel. Like, don't get me wrong. Whoever did
Exactly.
that, like, work. Like, you did work. Good job. Like, my wig off to you. But
well, personally, I love the voice line, and whoever read it. It would be nice to hear a couple more though, a little more variety in the randomness. But
I guess
way,
you could start off at different points or something, so I guess you could still hear it completely. That would be an interesting to see. But I think the full duration of it is long. I like it. I like where it is. Everyone's playing Indom now with Taser. I know I said it was really good last time. I didn't expect to just see it everywhere afterwards.
I have to agree that it is really good, honestly. The whole thing that I'm thinking of is I didn't particularly use it very often myself, because even though I like break my ankles everywhere, I just wasn't restoring it fast enough, and I don't like taking damage.
Yeah, Indom itself isn't particularly great until you get the last level, and you can proc it really fast. It's good to have, personally, just for me, for 30 seconds of running, because you can use your entire stamina bar, pop Indomitable, get a full stamina bar, run for 10 seconds, it procs off, run for 10 more seconds, then, you know, just rest. So that's what I use it for, just like complete 30 seconds of pure running. But from like its defensive standpoint, it is a lot to invest in, because you use it once, you're invulnerable for 10 seconds. Like, you're just using it to basically nullify one push, and it isn't that good of a trade-off. It's better when you use it to like go in and get out, I think, personally. But that's just how I use it.
Can't stop the sprint train with the Indom and
Dude,
shoot
yeah.
hard.
And then like couple it with like a chocolate bar and then the Lucky Loot. Well, I said this last stream, but whatever. Y'all have already heard me. We do have some rumors for the new patch coming up. I know room patches. We're discussing a spooky clown room.
Delete.
I think you guys are just, you don't appreciate clowns enough. I think it's beautiful.
I'm not
I think
even
it is
scared of
calm.
them.
That is a
Alright.
room that I would lay down in and close my eyes and just peacefully go to sleep knowing that I am protected under the gaze of all these clowns.
I don't need those clowns.
These modern joy makers. They're beautiful.
So
You don't appreciate
this room that I'm currently in is actually the room that was demonstrated to have a new type of outfit for the sleepers, and 2, it's totally green with clown motifs all over it.
It had 3 paintings. I had one on this wall, and then one on this one, and then like a
One right up there, yeah.
like a wallpaper thing. It wasn't even like a painting. This one was like on the wall.
Oh,
But it was good.
Here, hold still.
It was spooky. Oh, thanks.
Come on. I'm trying to heal the door or something. There. Bloody head.
How you guys doing there?
Wait, what?
What?
What? That was weird.
Okay,
there
so
we go.
yeah, this is the room. You can even turn the light here. This
Yeah.
one here. Yeah. So this is the room that they've changed. I know Rue kind of hinted that they did a lot of I guess a lot of changes to other rooms as well. So they added more details to them.
Yeah, other houses are gonna have more personality, they say.
It's awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing the personalities in the
Serious,
next patch.
another one?
Seems like our club members in the chat are very pro clown room.
What the
Clown room.
pro clown room?
See, I told you guys. I told you guys you just
We're
weren't
in the clown
appreciative.
room. No.
Oh, hi, Shape.
Why are you guys carrying bodies? What? This is not that kind of stream. What the
I
heck?
need more bodies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I
I'll
gotta go
just,
find one. I gotta get one
Put the
now.
bodies back where they came from, or so God help
Absolutely
me.
not. This is mine.
Put the bodies
It's a
back where they came
souvenir.
from.
nah,
Put the bodies back where they came from.
I'm just
It
gonna
is a
put this
souvenir.
one in the wall.
Alright, moving
Or,
on.
I mean, we could have a funeral and toss it off the cliff.
No, Archer.
That will become a funeral. And you can...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh!
No!
Oh shit, Shape! See.
I was gonna get the body.
But
Alright.
yes, they did state that a lot of the houses now have more personality for sure. So that's
So-
actually going to be a lot, not a lot more helpful in identifying houses, but also gives the town more life, I feel. Hey.
Absolutely. It's going to make everything feel a lot more cohesive and together. So I'm excited to see that. I know we had suggested a while ago, like this trail mission, basically like combining the missing kid and the free the kid mission, but we don't know if the kid is either alive or dead. And Rue had taken that as his pet project, but now it seems like we might be seeing it sooner than we had anticipated.
Oh, I remember what these are.
I'm in the ground.
Not again!
Hello.
Oh, there goes Kit.
Are you?
Oh
See Kit while
God!
I'm trading.
Is Kid the boogeyman?
Well, I'm not gonna.
Run, Chris.
As much as
Naughty
I.
children go on the floor.
Can't you come back if you just climb?
There we
hold
go.
spacebar?
Oh,
Yeah.
As much as I wanted to explore out there, I'm not gonna do it because, well, stream.
It's just empty land, dude. There's nothing out there. Anyway, so this new trail mission is going to basically be a sort of mission where we don't know whether the kid is alive or dead, and we just follow a trail, and we will find out at the end of the mission.
Yes.
So that's coming into, along with some other missions and optimizations and some polish. What are some other things you guys are hopeful to see in the patch besides this?
Well, I want to, yeah, a lot. I want to go ahead and touch up on that. The kid mission was suggested by several people, including myself, where it would be nice to like combine the missing kid and the lost kid, the tied up kid, and make it so it doesn't. It's a lot harder to tell if they're alive or dead. And they were like, you know what? Let's just make this a brand new mission in and of itself. And so in the higher level difficulties, there's going to be a new mission for us to do, which will be giving no clues except for some kind of trail. We don't know exactly what it means yet. Probably the closed eyes, which is great. Needs more uses,
Oh,
honestly.
absolutely.
And then the whole fact that we don't know if they're alive or dead.
Spooky.
Speaking of the tied up kid.
Speaking of them. Oh, maybe we'll get those outfits. Oh, that'd be so cool. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's just wishful thinking on this one.
You know what I'd be excited for is the
Shredder's
bandanas
kid.
and the hat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we'll get
I
that.
want the bandanas so bad.
God, that'd be so cool.
I would
Anyway,
actually really like it if they had us like the accessories extend like.
I would like some hats and more
Oh,
pants.
Yes.
I am totally not a fan of the pants.
I want a fedora and then an emote to go with it where I can tip
we're
it
just
and
giving
go,
Rude
"Really?"
Patches like a list, like a troll list now.
I made it known that I want some new pants because I mean I hate to knock on the design team, but I just don't like the pants in this game.
Just give us some leggings or something.
Leggings.
All good.
A couple of skirts would be really nice.
Not for parkour, unfortunately.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Skirts then.
I would rather wear shorts instead of
Yeah,
a
I was
skirt
honestly
for
thinking of
parkour.
shorts. Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, that's like completely off topic. We're talking about what we would wear in an actual TV mission. But so last month we took a look at the Slumbering Gods
Battle
Speak as
skirt.
one. Battle skirt, yeah, dude. With like 2 belts on it, like side to side, like really anime-like, and then you can put things on your belt. Okay, I'm going off now. But this month we'll be looking at who's the Daimon of the month.
The
Drum
Daimon,
roll!
our Daimon of the month. It turns out that the I Dare has been coming up a lot lately in the subjects.
Yes, so here with us is Fluffy Raven, our special co-host today, to talk and represent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's your cue.
I'm good at this.
Raven's like sweats nervously.
I'm like,
So, who is TID? What is TID? Give us
Alright.
the T.
Alright. Leah,
So you know
feel
those
free
like
to, tell
ceramic
me that
like
you're wrong.
kittens you buy from a garage sale? Imagine one of those, except thrown at a wall.
Alright. So yeah, what I was saying was, Leah, if I get anything wrong, like feel free to be like, hey.
No,
that's not
definitely.
right.
Yeah, we'll definitely ask questions.
So yeah, the Adair is the second oldest voice that we have, and he's basically the one who freed everybody from the song. Basically, give us the word. Somebody's messaging me. Okay, that's cool. I'm being spammed. Yeah, but basically, he represents rebellion. And although right now he's kind of subdued with that because of recent events where he was shattered and thus the whole situation with finding his fragments.
Mm-hmm.
because he's currently not considered whole, so he actually is not able to speak to us in dreams because of that. What's the other question?
In conclusion, TID is a voice. A spooky voice.
He's a spooky voice.
A very spooky voice.
It's so scary.
Oh, I just stalled in midair.
Archer.
I want to talk about this. Question.
Raven, I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Got caught.
So, if somebody in game wants to get a hold,
You cut out, Shug.
If somebody wants to get a hold of TID, how would they go about it? I think that's
So that's basically with any voice, you want to get a lore and just ask questions. He normally is pretty quick to get in contact with you, but because he cannot reply like with a voice, he will actually come in game and start talking with you and and to know that you're being talked by one of the guys that currently don't have a voice is you'll see like an icon telling you to close your eyes, and basically they can hear you through your mic as long as you have enhanced door on. So
Yep. A brief note I will say about that, especially considering the UI changes that we were talking about earlier. If you have the UI disabled through using Alt-B, you will miss God encounters.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Same with flying
as
around.
of this moment. Yeah, as of this moment, they will not show up. That little blinking eye that you will see when they're trying to talk to you will not show up with that. So heads up for anyone that wants to do like UI-less runs.
Yeah, it would be nice to see that changed or fixed for the next patch, maybe.
I do believe
see.
they
Yeah.
did state that is being fixed in the next one. I'd rather not quote that though, because it's my memory.
Oh no,
Yeah,
kids'
but
memory.
Yes. Dun,
But
dun.
sending out a light of rebellion to get his attention is the best way to get in touch with him because he can't really answer the dreams. Neither can Spix is one, but you know what? We're gonna toss them into the garbage for a hot second while we talk about the idea.
trash boy confirmed.
Oh, I found a stalker.
Ooh.
What was that?
What?
I get to slap them with Indom and a Trank Dart. Where they at?
Where are you?
Oh wait, we actually have a stalker? Oh,
Yeah,
shit,
we do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
they took a photo of Barracks. So what does TID look for in a host? Because he was the god of rebellion right before he was fragmented, but
Yeah.
from what I've seen recently, it kind of seems like he feels like his name should be different now. Like he doesn't really believe his name should be tied to him. He says now, I was called TID.
Yeah.
He never really says like I am
Yeah.
TID.
I do
So-
believe his name is going to be changing soon, from what he has been saying to others.
I wonder what you guys would change it to though, because I wonder if that would be something we would decide. I don't know.
From when I talked to him last, I did ask him about what happens when voices do decide to change their names. Apparently, the change is very subtle. Like, it kind of happens until it's, like, all of a sudden upon them. So it's like, oh, you don't really notice it until it's like, oh, there it is.
The identity.
Oh, the idea.
Yeah. No!
If
Delete
you guys could
that.
if you guys could change TID's name right now, like what name would you guys think would be appropriate for him?
I mean, the Dead is a pretty good one.
Oh, no.
But like he isn't like that anymore, you know. Like from what I've seen too, he isn't how he is said to have been, I guess, in the past.
I just noticed
See,
I don't
like-
have any flashbangs.
I think for me, it'd probably be based on something about, like, personal choices. Like, kind of making it
Oh,
like
got
that.
you. Yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that. So, TID's been asking a lot of you guys to look for his allies amongst the voices and look for the gods that don't like him. Have you guys found any gods that like him?
I've not heard of anything,
So
no.
far, not really. The closest that I found is V Measure Cuts, but that's not so much so much as V Measure Cuts did not particularly care very much. Which, is that even better? I don't know if that's
I can tell you for sure SEO does not like TAD, alright?
Oh, no.
Whoa! What a revelation!
Oh man, my whole world just turned upside down right now, Zayden.
But I think
I've
DFY
been
and him
lied
are
to.
actually friends.
Like,
Probably. Yeah.
from what he said though, is that the voices changed a lot since he's been fragmented. So yeah, he has been having people try to talk to the other
Jeez,
voices.
I thought you were a stalker for a sec.
Hi, how's it going?
So right now, we haven't really heard much per se.
No.
Mhm.
So that's still something that is definitely a they flood.
Oh man.
That's a work in progress.
Poor stalker.
Okay, that's fine.
Another thing to
Coward.
note too is that I don't think Laplace and the Idare are friendly at all, or that
Oh,
Laplace
no.
has any like
Yeah, they don't like each other.
attachment. Yeah, because I got in a personal dream like a while ago now, almost over a month now, where I directly confronted Laplace about the betrayal, the supposed betrayal, and he talked about how he used to be just as stuck up as good old mom and pop, and all he did was stick out a leg.
Yeah.
So whatever happened, shattering, I believe.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. LL seems to want to have his own idea of what he wants to accomplish, and I guess he doesn't mind kicking other people down along the way.
Yeah,
Well, why not?
I suspect that too, honestly. I just noticed I didn't move this. There we go.
So TID we mentioned was the god that freed the kids. Now recently SAO kind of commented on how the kids' actions against SAO and how some of the kids get hurt by the shape affects the losers themselves. Do you guys think they might change the opinion of some people about if TID's action was good or not?
I mean,
That's difficult considering the fact that
so
okay. This one right.
so when so the whole thing between like good and evil is kind of very
Absolutely.
hard.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
everything is definitely on a morally gray scale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
definitely.
game. So it's like you'd be like, well, this god has done some crappy stuff, but he also did good stuff. So it's like,
Mhm. And
Yeah,
also,
like-
it's really difficult to find any sort of sympathy for Speaks as One's entire deal is because the issue with the Lucids and the fact that they have to hunt down these kids and the issues that come from hunting
and they
down
are
the
using the
kids.
shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. That remains a problem that Speak as One created. Like, nobody asked them to, hunt down these kids. Nobody asked them to, basically hive mind all these people together
Yeah.
and then want them to come back into the hive mind. The fact that they still want these kids to go back into the hive mind rather than letting them run free is kind of his own issue, and I find it hard to feel sympathetic for Speak as One when he created
So
the
I
entire issue.
feel this subject should be pushed down to the lores and theories section. So right now, right now I would like to let's pull out a little bit more on the Dare. Like I feel that he's like at the current moment out of character. I feel that he's a actually generally good person. Like he really wants to try to help and whatnot. And he comes to comes to as many people as he can to actually help them and whatnot, give us lore and information about different things. And
Definitely.
yeah, and that's really cool. And best jokes, yes.
It's jokes, yeah. Although, yeah, going on with the whole lore things with the idea, there is topics though with him that are touchier.
Yeah.
So just be wary of what you're asking, especially about hosts and stuff, because it can seriously run them down.
Yeah, I mean, since the whole fact of Speak as One dared him to basically kill himself, and in order to do that, you have to be forgotten by your hosts. And
I mean, yeah, from our own conversations with him, he is incredibly frustrated with the situation of having to be forced to do dares when people dare him.
mhm.
So that is one of the reasons why he's kind of grown to despise his name.
Yeah, I get you.
Well, that was very enlightening.
You say it in such a way.
From Speak as One's perspective, from my conversation, they have kind of reached a character arc. When I started talking to them, they were very pushy about making sure everyone returned to the song. And as our conversations grew, and I kind of tried to show this cinematically on my YouTube channel, they kind of reach a point where they're just like, okay, not everyone's going to come back. We've accepted the situation. Only some kids will come back. Let's focus on finding the kids that want to come back and screw everyone else. And that's just kind of how they've been playing it since then. And they kind of touched more about that in a four-man conversation I had a couple of days ago. They kind of touched more on that too. So they really don't care about you guys anymore. Like, it's just, y'all don't want to come back? Go for it. So yeah, they're not really interested in you. I think they have other things they're worried about that they haven't really talked to me about, so I don't know. But as far as it comes for y'all, they don't care. You know, they just want you guys to stop doing what you're doing. Please.
Stop
Thank you.
rebelling.
Stop, like, because, like, in a way, like, a lot of the adults came here on their own choice. You know, that's why Red Acre has that special thing where you get free housing if you come in or whatever. That's why it's such a diverse town, because people came in from different parts of the world to Red Acre. So Red Acre isn't like people grew. So Speak as One prefers people, or Eddie God prefers someone that chooses them, you know, instead of having to like put it in their head or whatever like that. So that's why Speak as One prefers adoptions too, because that's someone that's choosing to be in Red Acre, and that's why they prefer someone that chooses to come here. So the majority of people, and this is said in a Dead Skeptic transcript, the majority of people that came to Red Acre came here by choice. Some people might have came under false pretense, allegedly. So if we're gonna assume that the majority of people want to be in the state of the song, who are we as children to decide that their decision is below ours and we should wake them up?
That's something that I always tend to side-eye a little bit, especially considering with conversations with the Dare.
Exactly.
Considering the fact that Speaks as One had us underneath their influence once before.
Yeah, and we don't remember how it was like to be part of Speak as One, right? And
we don't. But there was still the fact that that Speaks as One did not enjoy the fact that we were part of, that we broke away from the song, that he preferred us to be like ignorant and wanted us to stay with them. But the idea, ruins that.
If you stay with them, how's that ignorance?
Well, you don't have realization.
Yeah, because you didn't choose to do that. If you don't know any better, is it actually joy?
Like, if I never tasted freedom, would I not want it back? Well, that's the actual case here. I have freedom, but I chose, and a lot of kids still choose to go back to the song. So that's what Speak as One has kind of made their, oh man, I had traps, I should have put them on, but I used them earlier. No, I wasted a trap me! Okay, but that's what I'm saying, you know, like, people still choose. Speak as One kind of is okay now with you guys choosing whatever you guys want. You guys just suffer the consequence of your choice now. But that's just it. Hey, put this body back. Put this body back.
It's not.
No, it's my body. I'm returning it back where it came from.
Wait, Zayden, put it down for a quick second. I'm gonna show you a glitch. I'm gonna show you a glitch. I'm gonna show you a glitch.
I'm not falling from this again. I'm not falling from this again. I'm not.
I have another one. I'll get another one. You fuck. You can't stop me.
You know what? I'm gonna go get one too.
No, don't stop getting mine. What are you doing? Put them back.
All right, so let's go ahead and catch back up on what's been going on for the past month between all the players.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's a ton of stuff.
I know you heard some snarling. Let's start with that, Kit.
Yeah, me and a few other players have heard this unusual snarl kind of thing. I don't know. It was like some kind of growl. And I've only heard it twice, maybe 3 times, but twice in a single mission, while a few others have start trying to drag me, while others have actually heard it, like one's heard it in the train car area,
Damn.
and others just heard it while it was in a mission. So it's kind of
Something
surprising
at least.
with like the whole thing of the randomness of it. I've never heard anything else make this kind of growl, and it's not the one sleeper where it makes this really, like really deep grunt.
Yeah, Pat Mellons actually told me that he heard it completely alone, and I was like, "Dude, impersonation," and he was like, "Rawr!" or some shit. And I actually jumped. I was like, "Dang, Pat, that's a good impersonation." So I could just imagine how creepy that must have been, just playing and hearing that weird snarling.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was kind of like a deep growl, and it was a lot longer than the deep voiced sleeper's grunt too. So it was definitely not that, and it just caught me completely off guard. And the first time I was flying my drone, I just kind of like pushed it aside, like, I didn't hear anything, I guess. And then, and then I heard it a second time in that same mission. I was like, the hell?
No, I definitely would have freaked out. I know something else that happened that was really notable for this patch was LL's dreams. They've been getting like more memey than usual. Like I guess now he's kind of like, all right, you guys got me. I actually like jokes. All right, here's some jokes, guys. And he just starts just joking in several of his prayers. I think one of them was a more recent one was about him being president, and I was just like, all right,
I actually
dude.
do want to bring up a speculation for this. So,
Okay.
if there's a joke about Obama being president, the earliest that joke could have been played is 2009.
Kit.
It's true.
So,
Thinking.
so that kind of puts this game in a little more of a perspective on what time frame it was. You coming, Fluffy?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm
Kit,
coming.
We're
Kit,
collecting bodies.
Kit
I
just
just
dropped
want
the
bodies.
bomb here.
I can see them breathing.
You just dropped the bomb here.
I know, right?
2009. No Speak right now is like taking out his clipboard and like erasing the stream right now. Like, hold on. It's not Obama.
But yeah, that's been the biggest clue we've gotten so far, though.
That's
of
so
the
weird.
time frame.
I never would have looked at that. So I'm glad you actually took out your magnifying glass and peered a little bit more.
Yeah.
I know another prayer that was also notable from him was the one about tattooing booty.
So I just,
Okay.
it is one of my favorites. Yes. Oh my goodness.
The
From
Hoot and
the-
Holler not one.
Yeah, he just wanted. It was. I can't exactly remember the the
Context?
dream. Yeah, the context. That's the word. Thank you.
It was something about the kid like not dying. Give me your body and I'll tattoo another butt or something.
Yeah.
And I know something more lore relevant and less on the meme side of things is that he kind of mentioned how he had kind of tricked IHT into sharing a body.
Yes,
Um,
that is an interesting fact that showed up.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, we
that's...
got an investigator bundle because of the damn stalker.
No!
All that work.
That's why the stalker came and left. He wasn't even trying to stalk us. He was just trying to snipe destroy our junior detective.
I'm really sad now.
I forgot about that.
2000 IQ stalker plays.
We have some of our club members in the chat who have been up to fun stuff this month. Kyle talked about how he talked to the IDare and learned about one of his older hosts, Cody.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's so true. Yes,
yes.
We have
absolutely.
Chad, who's been trying to figure out how to set the shape on fire.
Yeah,
Oh god.
Now
Dude,
that's a
I'm
good
helping
thing
Chad.
to spend your
God.
time
When
figuring out.
Chad talked to TNT and TNT was like, oh dear,
it's Chad.
No,
Chad.
no, I can tell you what happened. I can tell you
Tell
what
us,
happened.
tell us.
Go
Oh, please
for it.
tell us.
So
Oh, I love
basically,
chat.
basically, so the idea was talking to Ren and I. And then he thought Chad was getting bored, and he's like, Chad is gonna set a car on fire. And then Chad was like, Chad was like,
Chad, stop!
He said he would do it if it would kill the shape. And then Peter was like, oh no, it's been done before, it didn't work. And now we're like, and then Chad and I spent like most of the time trying to create a plan. Setting cars on fire with the shape.
I love the fact that he said that it's been done before. That's
it's
great.
Like they tried, like they sat in a room and drafted this plan. Get shape in car, light on fire, question mark, profit. And someone else who's been trying to kill the shape has just kind of said that he can't. Is TMC. He mentioned that in his prayers too, at some of his dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think the shape will ever be killed?
Mm-mm.
I agree with Kit. I don't think the shape will ever be killed because I don't think it's anything like what we've seen. I don't think it's anything like a voice, and I don't think it's anything like a host.
I hate this quest.
I think that it can be killed, but because it's much more resilient human being, it would be much more difficult.
Kyle.
You just gotta get creative.
How old do you guys think the shape is?
Oh, they have.
Yeah.
I think it's gotta be pretty old. Maybe not as old as V.I. Dare and Speaks as one, but probably.
I can tell you how old it is.
Oh.
Oh yeah? How old?
Yeah. SEO told me that it's as old as them.
Old boy.
Yeah, so it's really old. It's hella old.
So
he got wrinkles under that.
So I wonder then if the shape actually came from the voices, or if
I have no idea.
Yeah,
no
one's been able to
It could be a separate
figure
entity.
that out. Yeah,
because we know that SAO has a very limited control on the shape as it is because it's killing kids, and SAO is obviously like.
But
no.
SEO was not responsible for it killing kids. It mentioned that the mercy of the angel is finite. So the angel will only pull you out so many times before the angel itself is just like, okay, you're dead. So it's kind of
this shit. I'm throwing you in the garbage.
Beat you off the cliff.
And see how many times do we gotta beat you up? Oh man! Shape.
Carl goes, I personally injected enough tranquilizers in it to kill a small country. It's pretty tough. I think we all done that.
Yeah.
Okay, but why do we just trap it in a car and then run over in a car and then a car?
No,
it'll just that car over with the car.
It'll just wrap the car around it.
Take gunpowder from the firecrackers and then dump that in the fire, make it burn even more, and then you get liquid nitrogen and then dump it on there.
What if a better idea would be to control the shape?
Simply darkness just gave a good point. Also, can't the 8th also control the shape a bit? Remembering what the 8th did to Kit.
The 8th put a mark on it. I don't know if putting a mark is the same thing as controlling. Because one can do things like... I mean, they never really absolved me of my sin. They do, bounce it around to us. When we had a 4-man, they were bouncing it between us to whoever they wanted to talk to. But they don't absolve me, or at least my watcher doesn't. But I know of a kid's watcher that they get absolved all the time. I'm not saying I'm jealous, but the watchers are different in between them. Is what I'm trying to point out. So that kid gets absolved, head pats, the whole shebang, and I get full transformed shape running on me 60 miles per hour, and there's no flashbangs, and I'm out of stamina, and there's 30 lizards in front of me, and I can't stop making sound. Yeah, it's like that. And then SEO's like, hey dude, how's your day? You wanna have a conversation? I'm like, yeah dude, totally. You wanna take this guy off me, or?
Tears running down Zayden's face. It's not.
Zayden?
Yeah.
Chat just said Zayden is Sinadre about the Watchers.
It's not like I'm jealous, Baka.
So, in other news from the other gods, DFY, I haven't really seen much from them. They've been talking a lot about their passions, from what I've seen.
Yeah, Die
Let's
For
see.
You has been talking a lot lately, which is actually really interesting. Like,
Yeah, but most of it seems to be about passion. I don't know. Maybe I've missed something. But
like
I know he did confirm. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I do know that like last month it was a lot of the measured cuts, and then like one other Laugh Last, and then this month we've seen a lot of Die For You, and also measured cuts.
Yeah, I know the recent DFY dream. He mentioned that a voice will eventually take over your body or your head or whatever the heck, and then that's it.
Mhm. Yeah, I think the dream itself was talking about when you get old enough, all the voices will fade except for one.
Yeah, SEO had told me that maybe like a week ago. So hearing it said by another god is good because that means they told me the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And that it applies to any god. TAD kind of mentioned it in one of his conversations with another player. It was like they wanted them to draw a curtain or something. That's very much what my relationship is with SEO at this point. Like, no other god talks to me besides them. So, yeah.
Yeah, basically from what was stated was that the deity that actually favors that person will actually start kind of like setting up home in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll start pushing the other voices out until they're the only one left.
Oh, I see. That's interesting. They get like a battle royale. They play Fortnite and they gotta like outbuild each other. Like, and the circle gets smaller. I see it now.
Although the idea kind of works a bit
I'm gonna
differently.
shoot you, Zayden.
Archer's already loading the crossbow. Yeah, I can hear it. The string's being pulled back.
Another thing to know about that as well is the dream from the measured cuts
Stalker.
where someone...
Got him.
Ooh, Stalker. But the dream from the measured cuts when somebody was asking him about like his gender or the god's gender in general, whichever one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentioned that that they don't really have much of a gender, but like it's his host was incidentally male. He mentioned something really interesting there, where his current host did not actually let him take up shop in his head until he died, because he didn't want his work, his research on the voices to be biased. And the Measure Cuts respected that until he died, and then took up shop. And then like complimented him for his great work, which I thought that was fairly interesting, because I know there was another thing I believe that's been floating around for quite a while now, where the voices actually need you to actually accept them into your head to even take up shop in the first place.
Absolutely, yeah. That's one of the first things SAO said when they talked to me and I was a new player. I was like, "Why are you talking to me?" And they were like, "You invited us in. You spoke the words." And I was like, "Ah, okay, that's cool. Hi, what's up?"
So one of the things that I do recall from a conversation, I think it was a dream, was that the Measure Cuts' last host was a female scientist.
Oh yeah.
I believe
that's why he's got kind of a scientific kind of personality with the
male.
British and stuff. Was it male?
I thought it was male.
Yeah, the one that I was just talking about, where it was
Archer, yeah.
Yeah, the one that I was just talking about. I think you might be talking about the fact that the Measure Cuts used to be a female horde goddess.
Yes.
That's the only other one that I remember that mentioned the Measure Cuts and like gender and him being female at some point. And oh, that's the shape. Woo!
I know another god was a female at one point too. TAD. SAO.
Yes.
I don't know. I guess they have both genders all the time. I don't know.
The eighth Daimon also was confirmed to have been female at one point.
Mm-hmm.
That's even spookier. I can't even imagine a female eighth. Jesus.
Well,
apparently they were calmer though. Apparently.
And they have like the same murder energy. Bye.
Actually, this was still part of like the whole catch up and everything. We were actually told that
Cool.
the 8th Daimon was actually more kinder back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's...
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we can go. But yeah, basically, it had a more of a fair personality, and it respected its people more, or something like that. And
It's strange.
yeah,
That's spooky. Strange and spooky. I know something before we move on that was released recently is released today actually, like a couple of hours before the stream started. Liz dropped her secret dead skeptic conversations. Raven, you know about this, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
She
Ooh.
released it, so now the cat's out of the bag. We can finally talk about it. This has been behind the scenes for a while now, but so go ahead, Raven, go off since you know everything.
I
just know by second hand. Like you lived it. You talked about it with him. Like
I'm being chased. I gotta hoard this body. It's okay.
no, stop it. I know it started with, at least from what I read, it started with asking about that skeptic and seeing if they could get something out to her or contact her or something like that.
Yeah, basically.
we actually learned that that skeptic is female.
Yes.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yes. So basically, Theodore got some of his hosts in contact with her, and she of course decided that she wanted to come to the hellhole, and they were all like, "Oh no, don't! That's a bad idea." But she was like, "Huh?" It's like, I'm doing it anyways. So that's basically a really, really mini rundown of it.
And now she's missing.
And now she's missing. Who would
Dun
have
dun
guessed?
dun. This kind of ties in with something else that I haven't really talked about, but now it isn't relevant because this is talked about, or maybe I have talked about it before. But Speak As One said that their hosts are missing too. Like their watchers are trapped.
Huh.
And they don't know where they're at.
I've not heard of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think I talked about this. But basically, what happened was, the watchers get embodied in your body at one point, and then if you're physically barred, then they are also physically barred, and they can't return, so they can't talk to the song. Like right now, the watcher lives in my head, so I guess that's why it comes and goes or whatever. But eventually, I guess they just get embodied inside you, and that's it. So since the host is embodied, the watcher can't return.
Ooh, now that's interesting.
That is interesting. Yes.
Yes, we have a likely suspect, but hearing this now and then hearing that, I'm just like, what if like it's just one person on both sides? Like it's not SAO that grabbed her, it's the same person that grabbed Bells, that grabs the host, that grabs. You get me? Like it's just one person that's grabbing
They
all
gotta
those
be
people.
fast then.
Yeah, do you
They
think
gotta be
there's-
fast, and they gotta be hunting people that are alone, outliers.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Sounds suspicious.
Hmm.
I
Thinking
wonder
emoji.
what that could be.
Yeah, I was
Out
just
of all the
thinking
things
that.
that could have, all the things that happened here in Red Acre, I wonder what's something that hunts people.
Yeah. Okay.
Spooky ghost.
Give me a
Beyond
sec, I'm setting
that,
up some.
recently I had a 4-man Speak As One conversation with me and a couple other kids, and it was really great. They have an interesting dynamic that I want to talk about. Since we all had 4 different watchers talking to us at the same time, they were not talking. It's not like, I guess, when TID talks to you guys, I guess, when you get one message for both people. Like, we had one person messaging us, and then we had to, like, say out loud what they were saying, so then everyone else could hear it. And I thought that was so cool, because it would be like, I would get a message, and then I'd have to say it. And then, like, Raven would get a message that was relevant to what I said, but then she'd have to say it. And that's how the conversation would carry. Like, we had to actually speak their words, like, speak as one. So it was very low relevant and very spooky to talk about it like that, to talk like that with them. And interesting thing was all the watchers have, like, I guess, a little bit of a different hand with us. So it was very interesting to see their differences kind of lightly touched on throughout the conversation.
That was interesting, yeah.
It's a lot of work, honestly, because it's like, there's like that. I would imagine it's one guy playing 4 different people and then remembering like all the experiences and stuff. There was this one instance when someone asked a question that had been answered a long time ago that I completely forgot had been answered, but Speak As One remembered it. So I'm just saying, like, No Speak has like this file or something, or he remembered, I guess, at the top of his head. But I didn't remember that, and I'm like, bro, what? Like, you're
Oh,
probably talking to
boy.
tons of players. Like, how did you even remember that?
We got Cryptos
So-
for second.
That was freaky.
Yep.
I've had
I'm
that
gonna
same
start heading
experience, Aiden.
downstairs and try to grab the cryptogram.
Same here.
So yeah, I thought that was so cool. I'm excited to maybe get another one. It was kind of hectic at first because we were all so excited, and Speakers One didn't appreciate that we were all trying to talk at the same time. They were like, "You guys need to talk as one. Stop using your off mics. Cut your shit." Basically,
Calm
TLDR.
the fuck down, you tiny hell children.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a moment here.
And then
Calm
eventually,
down.
like, when things calmed down, I was just like, I'm sorry. Everyone was, like, really excited. And then Speakers One was like, nah, like, you guys are allowed pride in this. And I was like, oh, God, my heart.
Oh,
But yeah, it got really wholesome later, and they thanked us all, and they're very proud of all of us. So that was really good. But yeah, that was a very interesting dynamic that I just wanted to share about the conversation. Us having to speak their words to actually, like, basically speaking as one. It was really cool and very spooky.
Speaking of spooky, someone brought up in the chat about the wooded area that's up by Old Growth.
Ooh, I have maybe taken a stroll before.
I've been wanting to do that, but anyways, that's
It's cool.
that's aside. So I, myself, along with what they've said, have suspicions that there might be something that will be happening in those woods. Personally,
Oh, I sure hope so. I'd be so excited
Like,
for that.
what do you mean happening? I don't see
Aliens.
anything but. Oh my god,
Aliens are back!
no!
so basic spooky things probably, and then the whole conversation with the idea towards Kit was that they're actually between Kit and a few others that I've heard this from. I can't exactly remember who. Sorry, but someone say aliens. They so the idea said that it will test Kit, and then also that it sends people into the woods.
I don't know if it's those woods in particular. From what I've seen, without like
Archer.
spoiling what's in the
Frankly,
woods,
I'm offended.
I know for a fact that what I've seen in the woods isn't gonna be what's finalized. So I can't really speak much of it.
Of course.
But it was really cool. It has like these ravines with like almost roots coming out like hands to grab you as you're walking through them. It's very interesting. The dynamic of that. Other than that, though, I don't really know if we'll be seeing any spooky stuff in there. I would love to see spooky stuff. Don't get me wrong. But
Oh,
my
yeah.
skeptic nature just clings to me like a tick.
Hmm.
I still think that there's something in those woods that's gonna happen, because the wood. I flew the drone through it a little bit, and above it, and those woods cover a big
Yeah.
area.
It's a huge
They-
area that they're covering.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
they're-
paths, a
They're
lot of work.
absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're absolutely huge. There's a lot of stuff that's currently in there that is most likely going to change in between now and when they actually push
Absolutely.
it. And I'm very excited to see what they actually add in or take out and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
because it's
Okay.
going to be massive. The next update is going to be so big, and I am
Yes.
so
Speaking
excited.
of update,
Maybe
the next update.
next.
Yeah, the next update probably, but this update is just gonna have the missions and
Optimization.
the
the room
optimizations, room changes, and a few bug fixes. That's
so
what we've
some more
been told.
content, definitely for us to gnaw on while we wait for the big arrival of the third part of the map.
Yeah. Personally, I was really hoping that the patch landed before the podcast, but that's all right.
I love
They're busy.
speculating. It's fun. I know some questions we've been asked is one from Ren, who also made that amazing board game. Was making the board game.
Mm-hmm.
She asks, "What's the speculation of connections of fragments and the shape? They're both the same." Well, to start, I have heard that when you become a host, there are physical manifestations that you take. So I don't know if the fragments are supposed to be hosts of
Archer.
TAD. Then the shape, I guess, is a host because they look the same color. I don't know, but that's a really good question. That's just what I know from the top of my head. What do you guys think?
I'm really torn about that because like I can't decide whether or not the shape is actually a host or like maybe
A
the very
pest.
first
I know,
host.
right?
Yeah, the very first host or something like that. Or
I've heard different
if
things.
it's something else.
Like the shape is actually a creature of some sort that's turned into a pet. And
Mhm.
while it looks like the people that are in the fragments, I'm sitting here doing hand gestures and I can't do hand gestures. Duh.
Uh,
Um, while they're doing that, the whole thing is like they that I think it's just how we see in through our eyelids is we can't see actual color. We only see brightness.
huh. Like it's not color, but just bright
Yeah. So
lights.
yeah, like
That's
so
true.
I'm looking at this light here, and you can actually see it through my eyelid. But if I look away, you can actually see other spots where it's at. And so like the god paint, I call it god painting. Like god paintings have a specific brightness to it that stands out. That's why it kind of trails along with if you're looking at the light. So I'm thinking it's actually a specific kind of like color that you can only see. And the brighter it is, the more spectral it is.
Well, I personally do not know. I would like to think that it is a sort of some source of invisible light. That would certainly be very. Kyle says that he thinks
Aliens.
the fragments are similar to what Bells picked up in the prologue, the feed me images part.
Yeah.
Are they fragments?
I actually really like that theory, and I really dig it because, like, if you play the prologue, like, literally one of the first things that voice that's speaking to Belle says is "feed me images," and we know that when sorry, when we pick up a fragment, it's basically fueling the idea that much more.
I'm
Just by
thinking I'm thinking actually the even though it's a tutorial on how to with your powers and whatnot, I'm thinking as a lore standby, if it is actually a lore standby, that it could be fragments of her own memory.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because a lot of the
I was wondering
sentences,
that as well.
yeah, a lot of
'Cause
the
they had
sentences
Go
goes, what was the example? It's like, your body remembers kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which that would actually make a lot of sense because even the idea has confirmed that his fragments are bits of memory, and each time we find a fragment, he gets a little bit of himself back.
But from what I understand, like it's not a collective TAD that you guys are working on. It's like your individual TAD or something.
Yeah, and it's like
Ninja
just an
smoke.
individual one, like an individual entity, but the only
And then
time
there's-
you communicate is when basically you get together to talk about it.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle. The body knows what it was stolen. Hear it now, take it back. Yes.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, yeah, it's her memories that got fragmented that time.
That would be an interesting concept. I know what kind of throws me off is the shape of the fragments. They're not like TAD's fragments. They're like shapes of her running. So I guess it kind of makes more sense that it would be her.
Yeah, and they do change. They do change. Oh, hi. They do change with sort of what. Because like when you find one of those like quote unquote fragments, you learn how to do something new, like crouching or running and stuff like that. And
Oh
thinking on
yeah,
it, yeah,
that totally
thinking
makes
on
sense.
it,
Yeah, it
the
really
first
does.
one, yeah, the first one you find at the oh no.
Kyle made us do a big think, and
I'm trying to get the shape's attention again. So
Sorry. But one of the first ones you find is the one at the bottom of the stairs, and when you close your eyes to claim it, it's a picture of her running, and then you learn how to run.
and it kind of makes sense because the body, remembers blah blah blah. Take it back, and you're kind of like collecting them after that. Like you're taking.
notice me, camera senpai. Damn it.
So
There
that
we
makes
go.
a lot
Thank
of
you.
sense. I like that theory a lot, for sure.
Oh, I do too. Which that makes you kind of wonder then, like, if Belle's got fragmented like that, her own memory to the point that she forgot that, do you think they do it to other people in Reddit?
It's possible, yes.
I don't think it happens to everyone, and I can say that only because of the story with the diary where the girl with the little sister that's 11 years old and she's like she's lucid already, Chiara. Yeah. With that story, it kind of seemed like they were focusing on the kids, and it didn't seem like they were doing things to them, just giving them medication for their mom's loss. I don't know what the medication could have been. It could have been like antidepressant or like I don't know.
It probably would be antidepressants, really, if it's if the kids parents been dead.
And then the kid was freaking out, I guess. In some sort of way, the way that the kid writes it, and from his point of view, it's kind of easy to make it seem like they're conspiring against him. But if you look at it from Shara's point of view, it sounds like she's just concerned about her brother because he's not, or her sister because she's not acting well after the loss of her
I think
brother.
they're confirmed non-binary.
Yeah, non-binary.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Archer, run!
I didn't mean to misgender them. I'm sorry. No, don't track me down. No!
You're gonna die.
She's an Apache attack helicopter. I get it. I'm just kidding.
Wait, what? How did I? Okay. I didn't realize I lost it for a second. Oh, hi, Shape.
Alright, Chad asks us another question. What do you think on the whole thing with the Daimons and how they come from some sort of gasoline?
No, gas.
It's not gas. It's a form of gas. Like not
the
gasoline.
Somnolock thing? Were they talking about the Somnolock?
Yeah, the gas in the Somnolock.
Yeah, a lot of people speculate that it's a Daimon, maybe.
A whole Daimon trapped inside the Somnolock gas?
That'd be...
It's so weird. It's so weird hearing this. It's so weird hearing that dream because when Kane said that, it was like February maybe. I was in the fucking cart with him. I believe. I remember hearing that from him because he was like, "Oh, I just asked about the gas or something." You know how he has that like that monotone voice. I just asked about the gas, but I don't know if he'll answer anything. And then he answers like 2 months later. Kate hasn't been on, but like whenever he comes on, I'm gonna message and be like, "Hey, dude, you will not believe what the fuck happened, bro." You remember that lighter you thought would never get answered? And it was this really tinfoil hat idea he had, and I was looking at him like he was crazy. I was like, "Dude, there's no way." So it's very interesting. I don't know if they come from that gas.
So a lot of people speculate that it could be a Daimon in the gas, which would probably be the Idare, because one, he's splintered. Two, the name fragments are kind of wispy in that kind of sense.
I don't know. I've heard other things like where what we were saying is that it could possibly like help induce that state to where Daimons are be able to be formed, like a kind of like a hallucinogenic type thing.
Maybe they mean more like it's because like Somnolock means to sleep talk, I guess. So perhaps what the gas is supposed to do is supposed to make you start to be able to like be lucid.
I mean,
the
Measure Cuts himself said that the gas is supposed to induce like a language-like movement in people.
Yeah, I've actually stated this. I think it was last stream where I think the gas and the song are used to actually like induce different kind of dreams and different thought patterns.
Yeah, I would believe it because I know there was a recent convo with TID where someone was like, where TID was like, we can free them, but the instrument makes it hard, and then plus all the other added padding that Speak as One has done to reinforce their hold on people, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So another question asked by Malagruden. What's the difference between being chosen and being a host? I've heard people, there are a few who are both. From what I know, in my heart of hearts, we cannot be hosts. Because before it was confirmed that we couldn't be hosts, there was an SEO conversation that was never released.
There's a lot of Lucids over there.
That said, basically like when you're a host, you have like a manifestation of it on your body, like you have a physical manifestation. And with kids, it doesn't show at all, like that manifestation or whatever.
Yeah, so the thing that the very first instance where I heard about this was with the Idare. He was talking to Kyle that one day, and we got into a subject about it. And I go, so like we know that Music Man is the host of TMC, and he goes, he's just simply chosen.
Yes.
He's too young to be a host.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's what Speakers One has kind of explained to us as well, that we're too young to be hosts. So the proper term that I've kind of coined and I've been throwing around is just chosen host. I've just kind of combined
Yeah.
them both. Like, you're a chosen host. You're going to be a host, not now, but you are going to be one. So there you go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I guess that's as far as canonically as it goes, because that's just from what we've seen, and this is information from multiple sources that weren't even released together, and now they're being put together in this conversation, and there you go. So
Like,
yes.
we actually heard it from a second player too.
Oh
so,
yeah, there's another there's another conversation that actually like talks about chosen hosts too. Yeah. So this is like multiple people have just multiple gods have said this before. So yeah. Who would you guys like to be a chosen host for if you guys could pick one?
Well, personally, I feel like that's fairly clear.
Put the train cars
I
down,
am here to
Arthur!
fight. I am here to fight. I want to meet everyone in the fucking pit because I want to duel it out with people and just have a lot of fun doing it. So I think it would be pretty darn neat to be like a host to the 8th. But like, you know, it's one of those things where you have to sort of earn it, I think.
Yeah, you and Kid have to play Fortnite.
Oh my god,
Let's
damn
go.
it. Myself, I honestly wouldn't know. Like, as an out of character perspective, I would probably say the Idare, but at the same time, it's just for in character, Kit doesn't still know who she wants to follow, and she still doesn't trust a lot of the Daemons.
Yeah, and that's a big thing for Speakers One. I know I'm talking about Speakers One all the time. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm Speakers One stan. But like, they mention a lot that they don't like when kids start asking like, what's in it for them. Like, like for them, it should always be about self-sacrifice, community, giving, uplifting, etc. First. So when people are like, when people write things like, I don't trust the god until the god gives me reason to trust them. It's like, okay, you're never talking. Speakers One will never like you. Like, I already know. Like, confirmed. Because that's not how it goes.
Well, I'm not looking for a reason to be trusted. It's more along the lines of it's like I don't want an agenda to go against Kit's morals kind of thing.
Well, that's the best. I think in my way, like if I had an agenda that would go against me, my favorite way to play it would be to have a conversation about it and kind of like go have like a back and forth. I mean, this is like completely off topic now, but like that's just what I would do personally. Like I just like play along with it until it gets too hot, and then I'm like, wait, can I back out now? And then that's when they'll be like, why? Well, because I'm having issues with the morality of the situation. And they'll be like, well, why are you having issues with it? Well, let's talk about it. And then you engage in a conversation about the morality of what you're doing, which always is very interesting.
Yee.
So moving on. Wait, maybe we should.
Oh wait, what about Raven?
Yes.
What about Raven? Oh yeah, Raven. Yes. I'm sorry.
Raven.
I'm so sorry. I was so excited for the community segment.
And we also forgot about Leia.
I forgot about Leia. Oh my god!
Yeah, it hasn't even
excited.
Yeah,
I'm so excited for the community segment. I completely forgot. I'm so sorry, guys.
Hey, Mr.
Hey, everyone!
Mr. Speak as one.
It's because honestly, Leia was chosen by DFU. That was confirmed, and then I guess Raven
Dance
CID.
for
Right?
us, yes.
But Leia, do you want to talk about that?
Sure, I can talk about that for a little bit. Yeah, I had it confirmed that I was chosen by Dance for Us. But I also had an interesting conversation with the Idare about how just because you're chosen by a god doesn't mean that you will become that god's host, and you have a lot of say in the matter too. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that I would necessarily become a host for a Dance for Us, but yeah.
Oh, okay. So she has her eye on you, but you might just like turn down her invitation to dance for her.
So
for both of you.
I think the devs are pulling the curtain back a little bit more on that because of a recent meltdown I had out of character, of feeling like everything just got way too centralized on myself, just all of a sudden, and I had to actually back out and focus on trying to fix the situation and stuff. And I finally got it, and I got it sat down. I got it fixed out. So I'm fully able to go back and rub elbows with like the whole like, oh hey, this is your mission kind of stupidness.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of coming from like a third-person view because I don't really play through that much. I don't think that was the intent of being like, oh yeah, you're the.
No, a lot of people like to joke that the bird mission's mine.
Yeah, but I would say that was more of like an out of character thing rather than
Yeah.
something actually pushed by the devs.
No. I don't. No, I never believed they were trying to focus that part of the game onto someone. That's why.
Even with like the eighth gun and everything like that, I still think there is like considering how decentralized the plot is as it is, and even with people that we have like confirmed, like Liz is the Bride of Chaos and stuff like that, that even with some people getting monikers like that, they're still not the only ones that get all of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
all of
or
like
the
all
lore.
the extra stuff. They're not like
Yeah.
essential linchpins. Like even Zayden, as like the Blackout Club's Discord's biggest SAO fan. Hello.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even say I'm the biggest. It's just the role that
The
I have
most-
taken for the verse is I'll be the poster kid, so everyone else that wants to be a follower can just keep it to themselves. You know?
Mhm.
They don't have to reveal it to anybody else. I'll be the person that they can look at, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why.
And I know even with that, Zayden doesn't have all like this power
Exactly.
with like speaks as one or like
No.
is the sole person giving out all of this
Yeah, there's
information.
no way.
Because-
Like, there's no leader. There's no leader. There's no
Yeah,
leader.
because
And
Yeah,
the
imagine
no.
what would happen if Zayden just like dropped off the map. It was like, okay, I'm done.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like
So
I
no-
said, I had to pull myself back because it felt like everyone was doing that though. And so after I pulled myself back, I was able to look at it from another perspective, and I was able to focus on what's actually supposed to be true. And that's where I was starting to feel uncomfortable with at that point was just getting pushed onto that pedestal like way too quickly, and I wasn't ready to actually focus on that kind of an idea of role playing with that position. And now I'm actually after I stepped back, I processed everything. I'm able to actually focus on that position of joking around or like being one of the idiots that does get eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you feel a lot better and you
Oh yeah,
feel better with the
absolutely.
narrative. No one should ever worry about being the central part of the narrative. Noski spoke about this. No one should ever worry about it resting on your shoulders.
Yeah.
It's all just for fun. And at the end of the day, we are just nothing. It's the story is moving itself.
Eat.
We don't do
Oh
anything.
yeah, definitely. Like, can you imagine like paying to play a game and then all of a sudden, hey, yeah, the entire game depends on. Like,
hey,
holy
D&D
shit.
session, come here.
I would just be like, immediately like, oh no, I am out. Goodbye.
I wouldn't mind, honestly. That would be
So-
interesting. But anyways, yes.
Yes, let's go ahead and move on to the community segment now.
All right. Let's
Um,
see here. I'll go
Now that
ahead.
we had the deep monologue segment.
Yes. All right. So give me a moment, guys. I will share the screen. Share screen. Here we go. I'm gonna get in the Twitch Discord set up for the group so they can see everything. It's taking a little longer than usual.
It's okay, Kit Ballard. We are patient people here.
We are very patient. All right. All right. It's up and running for everyone now.
Okay.
So, welcome to the April edition of the
I didn't
community
do-
segment.
Whoever did it, you want to lead it? Because I didn't. Oh well, yeah. Go ahead.
You okay there?
So, Psycho, he takes some amazing screenshots from the game.
Yes. I love the edit where it's like, imagine you're like playing the game, you just came out of like dream therapy, you're like walking back up to host, and like you're exiting, and it's just a dead end. The thought always just creeps me out, like just thinking the maze would suddenly change like that. completely terrifying.
You know, actually, now that you mentioned it, I didn't even notice the fact that this is actually an edit. I thought it was just a color edit. That was
Me
good.
too, until I looked at it closely. Yeah, I think it's so spooky. I love it. And the one on the left is really nice. I like how he didn't made the darkness darker, made the lights pop out more. It was cool.
It is
Honestly,
very good.
when he first sent me these edits, the porch one with the little gazebo came on first, and I was like, "Am I looking at Zillow or Redfin? Like, is this a new property?" And then I was like, "Oh my god, this is from the Blackout."
Right? Yeah, Psycho has some talent. He did some good GIF edits too. But learn about those.
I think we're gonna have more of those next month. I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll have some more GIF edits next month for sure.
Yeah, probably one of mine will pop up on the next one later. So Bucket just showed up
Bucket.
out of nowhere and giving their interpretations of the Daemons in a different light. This was
They just
awesome.
slap this shit down and like look at how beautiful this is.
Out of nowhere.
From the way,
Completely
yeah,
unknown.
from the concept themselves, from like the actual like art, like just the drawing, just like I want to pick it up and like shake it with how great it is. I just
Awesome.
I'm a huge fan of Buckets. Bucket coward. I'm a huge fan of how Bucket is doing their interpretations here.
Yes. They also recently released Speak as One.
Speak as One. Yeah, I like that one a lot. That was really cool. They're like joined twins. Like.
But yeah, this is a great interpretation of both these deities, especially with Die For You. I actually love how Die For You looks. That actually seems to fit the persona a lot.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
think it's beautiful.
Yes.
We got Kitty.
This time we're gonna talk about like some of the fan fiction that goes around, and I'm a huge. I love the fan fiction that has come out of this community already.
Me too.
We
Yes.
need to make sure that they're getting their moment of spotlight as well. Let me grab my review notes here. All right. So the Boxcar Children Aren't All Right by Kid Skylark or Kitty is honestly currently one of my favorite ones. Currently sitting on Archive of Our Own. It's a multi-chapter fic. It's currently actually up to 5, as you can see here. It says 4, but they did an update today. It features their kid named Astro and some of the other Boxcar kids that you might see running around in the AO3 archive, and their adventures in Redacre. Some of them go from like pretty serious, like how important it is to save information because the phones get stolen on missions, to the downright silly, like them trying to explain why they aren't with their parents while they shop for goods in the middle of the night at a convenience store, or like daring each other to touch the shape door. They're quick, really easily digestible, like very crisp writing, and they're just very fun to read, even with all of like the semi-serious topics that they touch upon.
Yeah, absolutely. I also read it and I extremely enjoyed it. I love that one scene as well. I definitely give it a 2 thumbs up. And a third one with my thumb, with my foot. My foot also thumb.
Your
My thumb foot.
You got opposable toes, huh? Alright. Moving on, we got Cass. with a nice little meme. I remember this one.
Cass is fantastic at tossing out these nice Blackout Club themed memes.
That's great.
Are we so out of touch?
And then the artwork of the character is just great.
Yeah, and they have currently started posting up their own Daemon interpretations too. I believe earlier today they posted a work in progress of Laugh Last, which will always be fun to see.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see like interpretations of Laugh Last, considering that they're the whole like Joker prankster kind of person.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm.
He's a very indulgent person.
Paintra!
I love Painter.
Oh yeah. Painter does some fantastic bus shots here of various kids. I believe the blue-haired one is their own personal child that they play in game.
Mm.
I believe the purple-haired one is a friend.
I think
But
it's actually their stalker. If I was.
they're stalker. There
Yeah.
we go. Perfect.
Because of the obey.
Oh, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I thought it was the brand. I'm not even gonna lie.
You need to brush up on your speak as one lore.
I just didn't know how to read it too. I was like, A-R-B?
Oh yeah, I love that it I can. I'm over here eating at the same time. I just love the whole like how the detailing is kind of like an old artwork.
Absolutely. I love the coloring as well. Like they've got some great color choices here for both their stalker and their kid, and you can very clearly tell too, like that they've got a lot of like good handling of shapes and lines so far. It's great.
You know, that's actually something that they need to add is bandages.
Oh yeah, the nose bandages.
That they definitely need to add that as an accessory, considering how many people put that on their kids. Lavanya, cheers to 1 million experience. Hell yeah.
Dude, yeah. Dude, Zavio and I are in the 1 mil club. We're gonna make a 2 mil club soon, TM. I think Zavio's running for it right now. I might do it too.
Yeah, Lavanya's already been featured on the last podcast, but we wanted to also feature the nice 1 mil celebration pick that they recently drew for Zaviol because it's a good pick, and that's something to celebrate is that sweet, sweet 1 mil XP dedicated straight to Laugh Blast and 459 hours placed into the game. And then as you can see right there next to it, Zaviol's actual character, the namesake, Zaviol Neptune. You can see the reference art that Lavanya did for them as well.
A pocket toothbrush and floss.
You
never know when you might have to floss on the run.
His parents in-game are dentists.
Oh.
I mean, I could see some applications for a floss, but that's probably the eighth talking within me. But yeah, congratulations on the 1 mil. I kind of would have been there if I sacrificed more often, but either way, congrats! We got Sabara with the music video that I helped her with.
Yeah, this song is amazing. I kind of heard you guys sing a little bit about it, like that one time, and then like a week later this was born, and I'm in love with it. I still play it sometimes.
It is really good. So basically she rewrote the song It Wasn't Me into the tune of the Blackout Club, which is basically about a lucid seeing her character. And we took a lot of segments of the video and just chopped them together to actually go along with the song a little bit and whatnot. Like this part is like, excuse me, is I hid him in the shower. A stalker caught me on camera, which is the stalker here catching. I was the one that was putting him in the shower. Yeah, it was really fun. It was a great project to do, and I actually hope to do more at some point.
Yeah, I definitely would love to see more covers. Some more meme TBC covers.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think we need some more
memes.
Memes.
Memes, but also just music in general. Like I love seeing fandoms like compose music videos, stuff like that. So like I think this is a great step in the right direction.
Oh god,
More fantastic
TBC.
content.
AMV.
Memes
Wow.
for the meme god. But yeah, Sabara did a great job with all of her songs that she did write also that didn't make it to a YouTube video, and she deserves the attention for the music. Definitely, definitely. And now we got Tang.
Yes, this is another one of the various Blackout Club fics that we have on Archive of Our Own. This is Eyes That Watch by Tangelo Time. This is also up there on one of my favorite fics that's currently on the archive. Simply because rather than talking about a Blackout Club character themselves, this is their stalker character, Deepaka. One thing to be said about this fic, though, that they did not place into their additional tags is that it does get a little bit heavy considering the stalker character. Sorry, I almost choked on my own spit.
I do that all the time.
Dude.
Right? But it does feature Depaka's parent, their mother, suffering from Parkinson's disease, and the main character Depaka, like, kind of like dealing with the emotional baggage
Absolutely.
of that, and
Yeah.
like trying to take care of their family, and you know how working for Speaks as One is supposed to help them help their mother. So I honestly think this is a really fantastic, not too heavy, but still has that undertone of serious to it, with
Has some
really, really nice
light-
emotional writing.
It has some light drug references too in it as well. I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there's like medical drugs, like
Mhm.
Depaka going in to like pick up like the medicine for their mother.
Yes, I remember that
and then-
scene. And
yeah.
it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that kind of set it up for Deepaka to sort of realize, oh, Speaks as One can actually help this if I work with them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
It is a good read. I also recommend it as well. I enjoyed it.
Oh, definitely. And like one of my favorite parts about it is that they have a wonderful like rendition of Speak as One talking that feels like very like in character for Speaks as One, and I think it's just wonderful.
Yeah, them hearing the words in a way isn't. Well, I don't really care. I love the way they present.
Mm.
Mhm.
That's it.
We got Ren.
Ren.
Ooh, this one I'm really excited
Oh
about.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, she's been doing so much work on this. Like I've been doing behind the scenes, and it's like it looks amazing so far.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
absolutely. I mean, look at that custom box car. It looks like she took a screenshot from the game itself. Like it's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, yes. It is ridiculously detailed. It even has the hook between the boxcars. Like, what is that?
Mhm.
I imagine,
The
like,
thing
when...
that keeps them together, the thing
Yeah.
that like, connects them.
I don't know what they're called, okay? I just call them little hooks, alright? They look like hooks, okay? Sorry.
One of the things besides like just not looking at the train car, but the chalkboard, I love the fact that it almost got like completely redone and copied over. It looks amazing, but also updated, so it actually has detailing in it besides the chalkboard itself. It looks
Oh,
great.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Oh, yeah,
of
she did.
course the box car. I mean, that's just damn good in general.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like that is a showstopper. And, like this is all for a tabletop rendition they're doing for the Blackout Club, which I'm really excited to see how that's gonna look once they finish it up. And I hope they post up like videos or something like that because I want to see how this rolls out. 'Cause it looks great.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of tabletops, I think it was Liz that had a like a character submission form for something.
Yes. It was
I've-
like she wanted to make some sort of archive, I guess, for role playing. I don't remember how
There's
it went. I
something.
don't remember how it goes.
But
Something
yeah.
like that. That's something to consider as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I'm actually curious how that's going.
Yeah. Should find out.
That's in a okay. Alright. And then, you guys, the community, help us grow. You help the game grow, help the devs grow, and help the community itself as a whole grow. So, as we keep doing these podcasts, it'd be great if you send us some submissions that you would like to have featured on here, or even contact any of us that's in the and that's a part of the podcast. I mean, just artwork, poems, stories, songs, community guides, anything that's about this game. Feel free to contact us, and we'll look it over and see how much we can actually do with this, because we could always use more artwork, and it'd be wonderful to actually show off your guys' hard dedication to this game.
Yeah, we appreciate all of the art that you guys do and the submission. It really helps shape the world in other ways and opens up our perspective of it as well. So thank you guys so much for sharing with us.
You guys are the meat of the fandom. Like, without you guys, we've got nothing.
So that brings us to the final segment.
Absolutely.
Excuse me. So, anything else? Oh, I just remembered. We got a question during that segment. What do you what do you guys think will happen when the Idare is whole?
I think he will be a completely different god.
Oh, absolutely. I think that his name is going to change. He's going to be completely different. The real question would be, like, what will he do when he is whole again?
I wonder what he'll sound like.
Yeah, because originally we did know, but it got reversed because of the whole situation. And one of the things I'm thinking of is he's taking this situation to learn and to
yes. You guys ready? I agree.
To learn and to actually figure out how we work as individuals now. Because one of the things he asked me was, "What do who do I see as friends?" And I named a number of people, and he was basically wondering, how, like, my mindset about that. And another thing also was the whole thing of, like, he also thanked me for teaching him how to be kind or something like that to to learn and help others. That's what it was.
Maybe TAD wants to be like a caregiver kind of god, I guess. Almost
Probably.
like a caretaker.
Because
that would make sense, considering how much he seems to care about humans as a whole, enough to want to break us from the song. Both once and in one conversation with me, he says that there's another thing he wants to wake us up from. I don't know what that is, but apparently there's something.
In my head, though, the TAD that broke us from the whole to speak as one isn't the same TAD that is here now. So they're not completely different. The one that did it because he was proud and tried to do it or whatever the heck, and he paid the price for it. And this one is now like humble because of the last one's actions, and he's realized, like, man, I should have not done that. I almost killed myself. That was so stupid. And now he's like, okay, but look at these nice, cool humans that I freed. They're pretty cool now. That's kind of just what it seems like now.
So
I'm not too sure if it's the same TAD, basically.
Liz brought up an interesting question. I wonder why the question, "Would you join the song or die?" is so important to him.
I wonder if it's kind of him trying to figure out where he wants to go in life, especially with his entire thing of kind of moving a little bit away from, like, rash rebellion, and trying to
bunker down and
he's trying to learn how to plan.
Yeah, he's like trying to like figure out who he is or who he wants to be now. He's like lost. He's basically like in his 20s now.
Yeah, because if you say that you would join the song, he doesn't think any less of you, and it's not like he stops talking to you.
Yeah.
So I remember in my first conversation with him, when I was doing it in character as Archer, Archer pretty much said, I don't want to die because I'm a child. I have my entire life ahead of me. And he was like, the idea was like, that's what most people say. I understand and stuff like that. So.
And then when people are like, "Oh, okay, I'll die. I'd rather die," then he's like, "Oh man, don't do that." Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? Like, what does he want from you guys? Both
So
answers are
I'm
wrong.
thinking he's trying to learn about our personalities and what kind of choices we do. Because while it seems like he has nothing to gain from this, there's actually a mental test that that is being applied here. And if you actually think of it from a psychiatric point of view, this is actually a psychiatric test of what your kid will do. And so, like, let's say I said I don't want to die, and I'd rather join the song because there's a possibility of coming back. But you know, he also told me that's almost just like death, because if you stay in the song too long, you don't recover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's like, I don't know. I don't know, man. Isn't that the same with any god? The further you get with that god, the more they just completely possess your body. That's kind of what DFY said and other stuff. So it doesn't seem like it's just limited to Speaker's one that does that to people. It seems like any voice would do that to you if you follow them for too much. I guess that's what the Lucis mean by it can be measured how much your possession is. So thinking emoji, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
That's definitely a topic that we should absolutely dig in more for next month, because at this point there's so much to talk about, so much to theorize for it. We just don't have enough hard evidence to really direct it.
Yeah.
But that's a really great question and a really great topic, I think, to end ourselves on.
Yeah, I have a feeling that there's some lores that's going to be fired out later today, or like in the next week or two, asking about that question.
Oh, you know it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we don't have any further questions, that is the conclusion of the Red Acre Neighborhood Watch show for now.
Yep.
We'll see you guys again next month, obviously, at the end of the month, once again, for another fantabulous stream. We'll definitely let you know when we find another exact opening in the signal. We just predict usually around this time, end of the month.
Yeah.
Chorus gets kind of lazy. They hit their
They're too
quota and
busy.
they're just, yeah, after they hit the quota, it's
They're too
over and they stop
busy.
trying.
You just give up.
Yeah.
They're too busy getting ready for Game of Thrones. So
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
little
so
session.
absolutely starts very soon, and I'm pretty sure the shape is going to be coming any minute now, as our signal is beginning to get intercepted now by Chorus right now. Dun, dun, run!
Dun, 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 wait.
Oh no! Oh my god! It's
Oh shit! I caught.
And this is where the stream cuts off.
Yeah, this is the part where it ends.
Yeah, this is the part where it's supposed to end, but we're still talking. Alright,
bye
keep
guys.
it cool,
I'll see y'all
guys.
later. Bye, club members.
See y'all in the mission.